Hi, this video covers the current updates for my beta, for my alpha testers. So we're going to start with the PFD, move across, FMS, etc. If you look at the PFD, you will notice that unlike the default version, we now have the proper tapes. You have your maximum speed line. If we adjust our autopilot speeds, we have our caret for both altitude, airspeed and altitude. We have our current vertical speed, our artificial horizon with flight path vector. This adjusts slightly based on current flight conditions. Ground speed, this can be changed to also show TAS and Mach, but normally it just shows your ground speed. Your G meter, the current active source of navigation, the CDI needle, then there are two needles here, one green, one white, referencing these two values here, which are your CDI1 and CDI2. Your current heading bug heading, your current track, your current heading, your AGL. The number below can be changed by, at the moment, using these two values, and is your radar minimum or ALO. Your barometric pressure, you can change this between, at the moment, between inches and millibars by pressing the baro button here, at least until it gets into the FMS. The current set altitude for your reference, and your minimums can be set by pressing these two at the moment. You can change your nav source by going up to the CDU and clicking through. So if we unpause and hit slew, VOR1, VOR2, GPS, TACAN is actually your ADF. Because TACAN 1 and 2 aren't actually functional, I've just tied it to your ADF at the moment. Same goes for the secondary. You'll see the needles update here and also over here. That covers the primary flight display, except that it should be noted when you're tuned to VOR2 you will need to use this set of course knobs at the current time. The radar and HSI shows you your current waypoint information here, along with your ground speed, time to go, and estimated time of arrival at the target point in Zulu. Shows you your current Zulu time, your current hack, and the time to target is currently not available, nor is the target ground speed. The HSI itself shows you the range rings, and you can toggle information up using the FMS. We'll look at this in a short while. The airspeed vector graph shows you forces acting on the aircraft. Across the bottom you have a number of different information, including the current radar mode, range, your current location in lat and long, the radar cursor position in relation to your aircraft, your current AGL, and again your nav sources. You'll also notice this is showing your track here, and this shows your true bearing. The ACORS gives you your engines, fuel and any warnings. This will dynamically update as required. The autopilot now functions more as it should. You can actually set your modes up, and none of these will engage until you actually engage autopilot. The yaw dampener is the exception to this. It will engage with or without the primary autopilot being active. The ice protection system has been brought online and is working properly. You should note that in auto mode on the engines, it will only turn on if icing is detected. On this, on the surface and skin protection, if you have it off, it will be off, even if you do not have the actual icing system turned off over here, because its mode is off. Any other, it will work, and you'll get the related warnings and information on the ACORS. Finally, the FMS1. You'll notice that we have a number of new areas. First off, we're going to look at the actual FMC. You can go into here and into refs, and you'll get a basic reference and progress page. In here you can set the V speeds, which will show up here. At the moment you can see that they're down here. You do this by hitting bright, which allows you to go into keyboard entry mode, typing in the value you want for your reference speed, and clicking the LSK next to it. You can also, for these type of ones, simply type the value and click. You also get current outside temperature in degrees Celsius, wind and direction, time to the next waypoint, current fuel burn, and estimated fuel at arrival at the next waypoint. The ident page is unchanged. Your it page is unchanged. The route page has changed. You will see that you now have a manual entry. The manual entry allows you to manually add waypoints into the flight plan using lat longs. So you tell it where in the flight plan you want to add it. For example, number 2. You'd give it a lat and a long in decimal format and a name, and after doing so we will quickly give it 1. You'll notice we get the option to add the waypoint. In the legs page, we can cycle through the various active legs of our waypoint by clicking on the LSK. If we wish to delete one, we click on the 6 and you'll see that we enter delete mode active, and we click on the LSK we wish to delete. To exit, we click the button again. At any time you can clear the items down here by pressing clear. If you're in keyboard entry mode, you can exit by hitting enter and it will keep the value, or hitting escape, it will clear. You can also tap the bright button and it will cycle you through. You can get to the progress page as well by tapping the progress button here. The radios can be entered like normal, bright 122.80. The value will update. This works for all the radios, both transponders, and you'll notice we actually have the mode 4 transponder. So if we type 1254 and enter it on our mode 4, TACPAC is aware of it. We have a data link for aircraft that support the data link so they can see us. And our TACCAN page, in here when entering a TACCAN you just put the channel and it will update. So for example here we'll put 79. You'll notice 79. Then to swap the band we use the normal swap button down here. Moving to the menu, you'll notice we have display. This allows us to change the active display features on the MFDs. Do not use the buttons along the side anymore. So we can change from HSI, which is currently active on this screen, and here we can hide our route or show our route. We can show or hide the mission marker. We can show the terrain overlay, or we can hide it. We can show our high and our low. We can also increase and decrease the range. Show and hide VORs, TACCAN, the ILS, geo boundaries, airspace, airports. TCAS currently is not working. You may also switch which mode you're in by clicking the button between the ACORS and the HSI. The other option you have here is the tactical menu. In here you can activate the radar silent mode, so it's warmed up but not running, and on. Select a screen which you wish to display. You'll see that it's actually functioning. Has two modes, two primary modes, radar and terrain avoidance warning system. TORS system, like all TORS system, functions based on the current view. So if you point it up into the air, you're not going to get anything. And uses the TACPAC system for those items. You can also enter skim paint mode, which if there are airborne targets will attempt to paint them out to 20 nautical miles. Sea mode, which will detect sea items back to ground. You can change the azimuth and the centre by typing in the values like any other, and putting them in. You may also change the beam width. By putting it in the radar sweep. The only other thing that you should be aware of is that the speeds will adjust based on the current condition of the aircraft, and you now have the option to in the route page to say if you want to advance the waypoint or not. Finally, you have this control panel, which can be used to can be brought up by pressing Shift 3, and you can change your fuel load out by clicking the buttons. You may also change the current payload in the aircraft, and set up the drops. Chaff and flare may also be used in the defensive systems. In the tactical, you will see we have self-defense. You can turn the RWR on by pressing the top button, the missile warning system by pressing it again, and turn it off by pressing it a third time. The jammer can be turned on and off. And then to auto mode. In auto mode, it will automatically turn on and off based on threat. Dispenser can be turned on, auto or off. In auto mode, it will run based on the program you have selected down the bottom, or what you have over here, based on when a missile is launched on you. Program 1 is chaff only, Program 2 is flare only, Program 3 is both. See the posts in regards to that. Next page shows you the item, your current chaff and flare items. You can increase the dispenser you're using by clicking here. This is when you're in manual mode, so like this. You can also increase the amount of chaff per half second that are released and the amount of flare. That covers the basics of everything that you need to know. Thanks.